Hi, this is Sara Levin, the Artful Inker. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today I'm here to share this You're Just Like Chocolate card that I made for this week's design team entry for the Spot Creative Challenge. So let me set this aside and we'll get to the creating. For this card, we're going to use the Nothing's Better Than bundle. And when a product's bundled, it means that you get 10% off when you buy both of these pieces together with the bundle number. So we've got the Nothing's Better Than stamp set, and then Love You More Than dies to go with it. So I've got a scrap of Whisper White here, and I've got my pieces of chocolate. And I'm going to ink them with Early Espresso. And I'm just going to set them on the top of my ink pad and make sure that they've picked up ink all over. And we'll set that aside. And then I've got 2 sentiment stamps here. And I'm going to do the same thing with just setting it on my ink pad and making sure that they've picked up ink. And let's put that right at the edge there. And I'm just going to give that a rub. And then we'll do the second one and give it a rub. I don't like to pounce my stamp sets. I just like to set them on the ink and then give them a little soft rub all over. And we're going to do this one at the top and give it a little pressure. Okay, so next we're going to take our Versamark and emboss some design on our chocolates. Now, before you emboss those chocolates, you may want to let the this background bit dry for a minute so that your embossing powder won't stick to them and will just stick to these decorative bits we're going to add. And I'm going to give that an all-over press. And then let's bring in a piece of scrap paper and sprinkle on our gold Stampin' Emboss powder. And give that a good flick. And then I'm going to take this and heat set it. I'll be right back. So next, let's prep that word chocolate that we're going to die cut for get it ready for the die cutting. And I've got one of these new foam adhesive sheets, and I'm just going to lay my die on that and take a pen and kind of, you could use your stylus, but I'm just marking a place around here for the size that I'm going to cut the foam adhesive sheet down to, because I don't need the whole thing at one time. And this will be big enough for my die cutting. And then we just pull, there's a backing sheet on both sides. So I'm going to pull off the backing sheet and place my crushed curry cardstock over that, and then my die on top of that, and I'll be back in a moment after die cutting this piece. Okay, so while I was die cutting, I also cut a piece of purple posy. It's got this nice stitched edge using the Hippo and Friends dies. I have a chart for these on my blog if you would like to know sizes. And of course I've got our chocolates, and then the last bit of cutting that we need to do is for the sentiment, and we are going to fussy cut the sentiment. So you're just following right along the top line for this strip, and again just coming straight across the bottom, giving it a close shave. And then let me cut this loose. I find it easier to work with smaller pieces, and I'm going to come straight across the top and then give this an angle. Cut that loose, and then down the side, and just come in here and just give it very straight lines. Okay. Didn't quite get straight across the bottom, so I'm going to fix that. And the same thing here. And using the words as my guide. And we'll give this one just a nip in. You could skip this step if you wanted to. There we go. Let's slide this out of the way. And then I've got the chocolate word that we die cut on the foam adhesive sheet. And now there's still some little bits, of course, that are in the die, and I'm going to use my take your pick tool in here and poke these loose. And let's pull my piece of washi tape. I usually hold my dies on onto my paper with just a little bit of washi. Okay, so I'm going to pick the rest of these out, and we'll be back in just a moment. So I can hear some of y'all asking whether taking the time that it takes to just poke a few of these out is worth it, and I'm going to say perhaps, because this would be impossible to add dimensionals to. And so you would be spending the same time trying to dot glue on here as the quick, just take your pick and pick those little bits out. So for me, that foam adhesive sheet is a win. So next, we're going to have a piece of the Playing with Patterns designer paper. Now this is a 6x6 pack that comes with 48 sheets. There are 12 double-sided designs and in great color combos here. So I have chosen this one with the purple posy and the crushed curry dots. And I have a purple posy base. And let's take our white layer for the inside and add a strip of this same Playing with Patterns designer paper. As I say over and over again, hang on to those little scrap strips. They are perfect for the inside of your cards, and we all have those scraps from cutting layers for our cards. And then we're just going to lay this down, make sure we're basically even. Okay, and then use the multi-purpose glue again to put down our designer paper. Multi-purpose glue is fabulous on several fronts. One, it is temporarily repositionable, so if you're putting down your layer and it's not quite straight, you have some wiggle time to straighten it up. and it is very cost effective. You get many, many, many cards out of it, out of one bottle. Okay, so next I'm going to put down a piece of tear and tape, and I'm just below center here. And let's give this a quick burnish. By burnishing, the backing sheet comes off more easily. And grab my ribbon scissors and this purple posy scalloped linen ribbon. We're going to put that down. Let me give this a little trim. I've got a little frayed bit here. And we're just going to add that right over. And then trim right up to the edge here before I press it down. You can choose to cut yours first, and if you do, that would be a 4-inch strip. Next, I've got my piece cut with the Hippo and Friends dies, and I'm going to add that with a dimensional or two. And I'm just doing top and bottom where it's going to sit over the ribbon. And then add our chocolates with a couple of dimensionals. Okay. And then we're going to add our word chocolate. And let me grab my take your pick tool again and just give this a quick push out of my die. In fact, I think what I'm going to do is push this right back down in my die. I had a brainstorm here. So let's see if we can do this. Oops, maybe not. Okay. If we leave it in the die and position it this way, now let's do this and just poke it right out of our die, and it's straight. We don't have to worry about the word being wiggled all out of shape. Okay, next I've got this foam adhesive strips, and I'm going to add it to the back of our word strip. And let me just check and make sure I'm getting it on here so that you're not going to see it. Okay. And let's straighten up my card on the grid to make sure that my word is straight here. And then add a dimensional back here. And we're going to tuck this right up here with the chocolates. And then I want some of these playing with patterns resin dots. I like the tone on tone this is going to give me. So we're going to do a big one up here and a couple of smaller ones down here. These are actually the medium size that I'm going to use. And then let me move this aside. We're going to use a few sequins from the Woven Threads sequin assortment. Let's poke that again with the sticky end of my take your pick tool. Add those up there and this down here. And let me get one more in that color. And we're going to make him an outlier. Okay, so I like to put these on with fine tip glue, which means picking them up with my take your pick and giving it a little bit of a squeeze. Whoop, got a dry bit there. There we go. I'm trying not to squeeze too much on because of course it will not soak into the sequin. It's just going to hold the sequin on, and then it takes a moment for it to adhere. So I just say put it down and forget it. Don't move it around. All of the products for today's cards can be found in my Stampin' Up! Store. And I'll have a link to the blog post, and you can find that Hippo and Friends die chart. And let's get this last one. Oops. There we go. And I thought I had one more hanging out down here. Let's hold that. It's wanting to stick to my thumb. And there we go. Our Nothing's Better Than card. This is Sara Levin, the Artful Inker. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you click the bell, you'll get notifications the next time I upload a video. Thanks for stopping in. Have a great day. Bye.